Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. I'm down here in the basement bait shop doing a little bait building. We have extremely cold temperatures across the country, so much so that a lot of lakes are starting to freeze over, even down south. I've seen people post some pictures of lakes frozen in the Ozarks, of lakes frozen down in Alabama. So the cold temperatures have gotten all over the place. And when that happens, a lot of times you get shad die-offs, you get just really lethargic fish because the temperatures are so low, and it can make for difficult fishing. But one thing that northern anglers have recently, not recently, but have figured out, and it's really gotten popular in more recent years, is how valuable a hair jig is. Now, some people use actual deer hair, some people use marabou hair. A lot of the southern people have applied a hair jig to their float and fly fishing, meaning they'll suspend one under a bobber, but you can very much cast them as well. So I'm down here actually tying a few up because of how good they are. For me as a northern angler, as soon as the ice comes off, it's one of my go-to baits, and it really generates a lot of bites because of how fluid they come through the water, how natural they look. The hair just kind of undulates and it looks, in my opinion, it looks a lot of times like a leech if you're throwing a darker colored one, or it looks like a flailing kind of bait fish if you're throwing a white or a shad colored one. But in either case, they work great. And I wanted to share something with you. I'm frequently try to stop at fly tying shops to look at the different materials that they use for fly fishing lures. Most of the time, the materials that they have are completely different than like what we use in the bass fishing world. We've got a lot of like silicone and rubber type skirt material, and they have a lot more natural hairs that they use to make their flies. And because of that, I love to stop in fly shops to see what they have to offer. And I recently was driving down through southern Wisconsin. I was outside of Madison and just randomly went by a fly tying shop that specializes in muskie fishing. And I went in there, I'm looking at the different materials, and I found some marabou that I've never seen before. And maybe this is something that a lot of people have seen, but this is not something that I've ever seen before. And that's barred marabou. So I couldn't resist. I bought all different colors, as you can see, all different colors, purple and black, brown and black, green and black, very, very natural colors that are going to look great. This one's got, what is this? Olive and barred rust. This is a fuchsia and barred purple. Just very cool marabou hair. This is made, I think it's MFC is what it's called. I think it's Montana Fishing Company. I'm not positive on that, but I believe that's what it is. And I'm literally tying some up. I'll pop one out of the vise right here. So this is just one that I tied up. This little guy just gonna go to town. So I'm making some up. You guys can probably see my fingers are purple from using the fuchsia colored and purple colored one. But these can be just absolutely deadly. Like, can be very, very good anytime you're fishing right after ice out or right in the coldest time of the year. It just seems to generate a lot of value. I mean, you can see in the water, it does the same sort of thing. It just undulates. And I think that's why it's so good. A lot of us call this fishing the fluff just because it's a big hairball, big fluff ball in the boat when it dries out. But when it gets wet, it just condenses down and it just undulates in the water. But it really has that good pulsing motion. But I got to tell you, I'm in love with how this material looks. So if this is something that interests you, they're very, very easy to tie. It is, I will say, marabou is not a fun material to work with because of how light and airy it is. I've got, my lap is covered in little strands right now, as you can see, just little strands that come loose. And in this case, because it's dyed material, my fingers are purple, but the reality, very easy to do. I've just got a little fly tying vise here. I've got it bolted to my desk. And one of the hooks that I really like to throw is the Berkeley half head. And they have very, very light weights, which is one of the keys. I generally like to fish. An 1/8 ounce is the heaviest I'll fish. Generally speaking, I'm fishing like a 1/16 of an ounce, which is what these are. And one of the things I really like about the half heads for tying these up is it's got the cone keeper on it. And that cone keeper does a really good job at allowing you to build layers up, meaning you can kind of work up and the thread's not going to slide down when you're tying these. So it works really well for these. The head style is perfect, 90-degree head. It's that half moon shape head. It's fantastic for making your marabou jigs. So I thought I would share it with you because I'm so excited to be using these. Generally speaking, I've always stuck with just straight black. You know, you can get pretty much any color, but you can't get the different barred material. At least this is the first time I've ever seen it. Maybe it's been around for 100 years. I guess I don't really know, but I'm excited to use it. And the other thing I'll say is the marabou itself seems so far to be very high quality. Nice long strands, very free flowing. It's not all bundled up and like sometimes you get it and the feathers just seem like they're clumpy and they don't look great. These are also very thin stalks. So generally I cut off, hopefully maybe I can grab a piece here if I can find one out of the garbage. I don't know where it went. Anyways, what I was gonna say is, so I just run up. I cut off of the stalk. I don't like to include that stalk because that'll be stiff, and sometimes you know the feathers are hollow, so you can get different motion out of it. I like to cut up the side of that so that you get a nice fluffy hair jig like that. But yeah, if you guys are looking for this, I'll put a link to it. I found some on the internet. I'll put a link to it so you guys can check that out. Great winter activity for me. I love doing this. It's one of those things, if there's a football game, I'll throw the football game on. I'll sit down, tie a bunch of these up, and I'll have them for the spring. But absolutely dynamite baits. So if you haven't used a hair jig for largemouth, smallmouth, whatever it is, make sure you get yourself some of these. Start tying them up. You can buy some. You can buy some. There are some that are out there. The one thing I'll say about the majority of the ones that you can buy, they're not usually as thick as I like, and they're not also as long as I like. I like to make them a little bit bigger and fluffier. And one of the keys to that too is I can make them real big, and that'll slow my fall down. And if it's too slow, I can always trim a little bit out. Most of the store-bought ones are much thinner, and therefore you can't bulk them up at that point. So I would rather tie thicker, trim some out as needed to get the fall that I want. But I'm excited to try these. So if you're looking for some good barred material, I'll put the link in there for you. If you haven't thrown a hair jig, you might want to try it. This is going to be a good hair jig year based on water temperatures that we're seeing right now. And easy, fun bait to fish when your hands are frozen. You just kind of let it go out and suspend through the water column. Anyways, I'm going to get back to tying. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Stay tuned, new video coming out tomorrow.